Hello and welcome here to Talk FCB, and welcome back to the channel this evening, guys, as we are going to be taking a close look at the game between Barca and Celta Vigo. There was a brilliant crowd inside of the Camp Nou tonight, plenty of spectators to enjoy what we hoped would be a convincing performance. But it wasn't. It just simply wasn't there tonight. In the first half, there were promising signs. In the first half, for me, we should have scored more goals than we did. But what was that second half? There were so many scares in there, real big moments for Celta that could have ended this game in a very different way. What a performance in the end from Ter Stegen. He's won us this game, and we are going to be talking all about the big questions that there still are of Xavi and his team. So come on, and let's do it. Because to be perfectly honest with you guys, the question started even before this game kicked off. Because when we saw Xavi's starting lineup, we were a little bit puzzled. You know, you can see right here, on paper, it was a surprise start for Ferran Torres on the left wing. There was also a little bit of a reshuffle in midfield there, because interestingly, it was Gavi on the left side of midfield. Pedri tonight was on the right, and I think Gavi played with a lot more freedom out in that left side. But what about that defence? You've got Balde playing at right back, Jordi Alba back in at left back, and then Marcos Alonso as a centre-back alongside Gerard Piqué. Eric Garcia was on the bench tonight, and of course Ter Stegen, match-winning performance from him in goal. But already, that back line, it's not really inspiring confidence in anyone, but it was a good start. There is no getting away from that, guys. We started this game with a lot better energy, with a lot more intensity about our play. There was a good early cross, good early ball in from Jordi Alba. Ferran Torres there finding himself in a very good position inside of the box, but he just makes no connection at all, nothing there at all on the finish. It was a great chance early in the game for him, which could have set the tone for his confidence, but it was another one that went begging. Rafinha had a brilliant shot there from long range. We took a free kick short there. It was a long way out. You know, this is from really long range. Rafinha takes it on, and I'm glad he did. We need to see more of this at Barca, whereby you're in that kind of position. There's so many bodies ahead of you. The ball is moving. The goalkeeper is unsighted. Why not have a go? Why not here? Just try your luck, and it very nearly paid off. It was a brilliant stop in the end from the goalkeeper, but that was a good moment there from Rafinha. After that came another big chance for Ferran Torres. This is a brilliant pass in, first time ball from Sergio Busquets. Ferran opens up his body, but he doesn't really do enough with it. Not enough conviction behind it, not enough power on the strike to beat the goalkeeper there. Rafinha tries to get to the rebound, but he couldn't quite get there, and it was another one of those nights for Ferran. And even inside of the stadium tonight, inside the Camp Nou, there was frustration from the fans towards Ferran Torres. There was whistles, there were a few boos as well when he came off. Things for him right now are not going well at all. He can't catch a break or score a goal. But this is the big moment here. This was the decisive moment in that first half for Barca, just inside the 20th minute mark there. There was a ball in behind towards the way of Gavi, and it looked initially like he might be offside, as though he might have strayed off, because he was in behind Celta before you could know it. But it was a really clever run, because he actually comes back onside, then runs in behind. Really good stuff from Gavi. He accelerates into the space, cuts it back then into the area, looking for a runner. Celta Vigo make a big mess of it. They really do. The clearance here, it doesn't go well for them, but it sits up perfectly. And once again, guys, it's Pedri arriving into that area. We saw it against Inter. He had a good goal, disallowed, of course, wrongly disallowed, but it was Pedri here arriving again into that space, right place, right time, and he gets a simple finish for his efforts. There was another bright moment though from Sergio Busquets, and a little pass there in the final third, releasing Barca and really cutting open Celta Vigo. This time it's Jordi Alba who's in behind. You did have a few brighter moments in that first half, but you can see right here, square the ball. It's as simple as that. You're in this position, Rafinha is across the goal, it's a simple finish for him. Play that easy pass. Don't be selfish in this area. But Jordi Alba, he goes for goal from there, and if you go for goal, you have to score. If you're not going to pass it, you've got to make sure you score. At minimum, hit the target, but he doesn't do any of that there. Barca staying within just a goal in this game ahead of Celta, but we should have got another one, or we should have at least had an opportunity to add another one in that that first half. Because what about this decision right here, guys? And I still don't understand this now. Because yes, Rafinha here, he's squaring up the Javi Galan. Quite clearly, there is contact. Now, the referee says here that Rafinha has dived. How has he dived? There is clear and obvious contact. Now, you could say, yes, that Rafinha, he's a bit dramatic about it. You know, he does go over, and, you know, obviously there's a roll at the end of it, and that's never ideal. But maybe it almost feels right now, if you're Barca, that you need to sell it, that you need to really make sure that it's an obvious penalty and that it looks an obvious penalty to get the decision. But that was waved away. Clear contact brought down. No penalty, though, for Barca. But I did think in that first half, if I had to pinpoint one particular player, you had to look at Gavi. It was a really energetic display from him. There was more space for him in this one, as opposed to what we saw against Inter. And like I say, on that left side of midfield, he did seem to have more freedom. He did seem to enjoy himself a little bit more in that area. And it's going to be interesting to see now how Xavi does explore these two. Where is best to use each of them in the field? How do you get the best out of both of them in that same midfield? But in the first half from Barca, it was good. It was promising, and I didn't really see what was coming in that second. Because the second half started as basically Celta meant to go on, and it was a nightmare start for Barca, because you can see here Celta have a massive chance in the game. They came out of the blocks really, really quickly. They've got a great chance in front of goal here, and I thought that was a goal. I thought from there, you got a great chance. It's going to really, really trouble us. But luckily, they do not connect with the finish. They fluff their lines in front of goal. And then for me, there was an even bigger scare, because actually there was a ball, high ball there, plenty of players inside of the area. Ter Stegen, he's trying to punch it clear. He's trying to get that ball away from his box. He actually goes up there. He gets to it, but he seems to land quite awkwardly and sort of stretches back when he was doing that there. And as a result of that play, you see him go down. He's holding his lower back. He's struggling with it there. He gets the physios on. He has treatment on it. Even after that, then he was still massaging it himself. He didn't look at all comfortable. And I was really, really worried about Ter Stegen, because Celta kept on coming. There was a shot from a tight angle that forced Ter Stegen straight back into action. He had no time to be injured. He had no time here to actually recover from that problem. Celta were on him straight away, and it's a brilliant block here, a combination of Piqué and Alonso to keep Celta at bay. Xavi made a few changes, though, on the 60th minute mark there, bringing on a few fresh faces. Ansu Fati coming on for Ferran. Like I say, a bit of a hostile reception from the camp. Now, Frenkie was on for Pedri in midfield. He returned there from his injury, and Ousmane Dembele coming on the right-hand side for Rafinha, who, again, it didn't quite fall for. Quite frustrated, probably, he would have been to come off and not really left his mark on the game. Celta then had a goal disallowed. Ter Stegen beaten there almost from a tight angle. They head it in from close range, but later we find out that it was all offside anyway, so everything that followed was basically pointless. But Celta thought they'd got their equalising goal. Barca still with those warning signs blaring for us. And what about this here? As the game now starts to wind down, as we start to get into the real crucial stages of it, the one man that you don't want to leave free in the box, the one man that you don't want to have this amount of room in your penalty area, it's Aspas. He gets the space there. He's got it out of his feet. I'm thinking for sure now it's a certain goal. Just put me out of my misery. But Ter Stegen, he stands up. What a stop that is. That is an absolutely phenomenal save from him. A match-winning one again from our goalkeeper. And that's what we needed tonight. We were relying on him over and over and over again in that second half. And as much as I'm proud of Ter Stegen, as much as I'm thinking, okay, this is another match-winning performance, we can't allow this to happen. We cannot concede this amount of chances. And you look at our defence, the way we ended the game. Roberto comes on at right back for Alejandro Balde, who was playing out of position. You've got Eric Garcia, who came on for Alba. Then Alonso shifts to left back. And we started the game and ended it in two completely different ways. It's very much a case right now of having to survive in games. That is what we're doing. We are finding a way at the back with all of our injury problems to get through it. But Celta still very nearly scored. They cannoned one off the crossbar in the final seconds of the game. Eric Garcia made a brilliant block. Again, there's questions of offside. And then with one of the very last kicks of the match, the former Barcelona player, of course, Carlos Perez, with a half volley that Ter Stegen is managing to just tip over the bar. Our hearts were in our mouths. At the end of the game there, we were struggling for breath. We didn't think we were going to get out of this game alive with the 3 points. But in the end, we have done. But oh, it wasn't convincing, was it? It was a real struggle out there tonight. And as the table says, We are still top. This is still a very big 3-point. It's still an important win. Of course it is in our season. But ahead of the Classico, and not just thinking about that, of course, but the Champions League next week, the decisive game against Inter, it's not really what we wanted. And I think right now, looking at this team, looking at Xavi, looking at the way that we played tonight, if there's one player that I just want to come back, that I need back in this team, it's Jules Koundé. Because if we can get him back, and of course one player, he's not going to solve everything. Everything's not going to change overnight with just one player back in. But if we could just have him back, I think he gives us so much there. Whether it's as a centre-back, solidity in that area, or as a right-back, it's so important that we have him available again. That shouldn't be too far away, and that's going to be critical in the week to come. Please do let me know, guys, all of your thoughts in the comments down below. What did you make of that performance tonight from Barca, especially the first half, the chances that we created? Robert Lewandowski, very quiet he was tonight. But what about that second half? Ter Stegen, the brilliant save that he was making, but we allowed it to happen far, far too many times. Please let me know all of your thoughts down below. Ahead of a big week, what do you anticipate to come? I will see you soon with more videos and all of the build-up. It's going to be big and it's going to be intense. We have to step it up. Thank you for watching, guys, and for all of your support. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.